Dear listeners, welcome back to English Through Stories. Today's story is called The Last Passenger. A woman boards a late-night train alone. She finds a stranger sitting in her compartment. He tells her something strange about her seat. The vocabulary is clear and simple. You can follow every word with ease. Let's begin. It is midnight. The train station is almost empty. A cold wind moves through the platform. Sarah pulls her coat tighter around her. She looks down at her ticket, seat 14, car 6. The last train of the night arrives. Its lights are dim and yellow. The wheels screech against the old tracks. Sarah steps onto the train. The corridor smells like old wood and iron. Her footsteps echo in the quiet. She slides open the door to car 6. The compartment is almost dark inside. She sees only one passenger. He sits in the far corner. He is an older man with gray hair. His coat is dark and worn. He does not look up at her. He stares at something in his hands. It looks like a small photograph. Sarah smiles politely. She lifts her bag onto the shelf above. She sits down in seat 14. The man finally looks up. His eyes are red and tired. He has been crying. He looks at her. Then he looks at her ticket. His face changes slowly. "That seat," he says quietly, "it belongs to someone who died 3 days ago." Sarah freezes. The train begins to move. The station disappears into the dark. Sarah stares at the man. Her heart beats fast. She does not know what to say. "I'm sorry," she says carefully. The man points at seat 14. His hand is shaking. "Her name was Clara," he says. "She bought that ticket herself. She never used it." The train moves faster now. Rain begins to hit the windows. The sound fills the dark compartment. Sarah looks around. There is no one else here, just the man and the night outside. "Who are you?" Sarah asks. Her voice is calm but careful. She holds her bag close to her. The man looks down again. "My name is Thomas," he says. "Clara was my daughter." Sarah feels her chest tighten. She looks at the photograph in his hand. She sees a young woman smiling. "She was coming to visit me," he says. "She bought this ticket 3 days ago. Then she had an accident." His voice breaks on the last word. He presses the photograph against his chest. A tear runs down his old face. Sarah does not move. She is not afraid now. She feels something else, deep sadness. "I come here every night," Thomas says. "I sit in her seat. I don't know why." The train rocks slowly side to side. The lights flicker once above them. Then they come back on. Sarah looks at seat 14 beneath her. She thinks about the young woman, Clara. She thinks about the ticket, unused and waiting. "What happened to her?" Sarah asks gently. Thomas closes his eyes. He breathes in slowly. "She was crossing the road," he says. It was raining like tonight. A car did not stop. The rain grows louder on the windows. Sarah watches the dark fields pass by. She feels very small in the world. She called me that morning, Thomas says. She said she was excited. She wanted to surprise me. He opens his eyes again. They are full of pain and love. He looks at Sarah very carefully. "You remind me of her," he says. "The way you sit, the way you hold your bag." Sarah does not know what to do. She thinks about her own family far away. She thinks about all the calls she has missed. Suddenly, the train slows down. There is no station here, just open fields and wet darkness outside. The lights go out completely. Sarah grabs the armrest beside her. Her breath catches in her throat. The compartment is completely black. Sarah cannot see a thing. She can only hear the rain. "Thomas?" she says softly. No answer comes. Her heart pounds very hard. She reaches into her bag. She finds her phone. She turns on the flashlight. Light fills the small compartment. Thomas is still there. He sits very still with his eyes closed. Sarah breathes again. She moves the light across the seats. Everything looks the same, except one thing. On the seat beside Thomas, there is an envelope. It was not there before. Sarah stares at it. "Thomas," she says, softer now. He opens his eyes slowly. He looks very, very tired. "What is that envelope?" she asks. Thomas looks down at it. He picks it up with both hands. "I don't know," he whispers. He stares at the front of the envelope. His hand trembles. "It says, 'Dad,'" he says. Sarah's skin feels cold and still. She does not look away. Thomas holds the envelope for a long time. He does not open it. He just holds it, pressed to his heart. "I can't," he says finally. "I'm afraid of what's inside. I'm afraid it will hurt too much." Sarah leans forward a little. "Or maybe it will help," she says. Her voice is soft and steady. Thomas looks at her. There is fear in his eyes, but there is also something like hope. The train begins to move again. The lights come back on slowly. The rain outside becomes lighter. Thomas looks at the envelope one last time. He makes a decision. He opens it carefully. Inside is a single piece of paper. Thomas unfolds it with trembling fingers. He reads in silence. Then he makes a sound. It is not crying and not laughing. It is something in between. "She wrote this," he says softly, "before she left the house. She always wrote letters." He reads aloud, slowly. His voice is rough but clear. "Dear Dad, I'll be there by 10. Don't wait at the door. Make tea. Rest your knees. I'll let myself in. I love you more than words. Save me the good armchair. Your Clara." Thomas folds the letter with great care. He places it back inside the envelope. He holds it with both hands. The compartment is quiet. The rain has almost stopped. The train moves smoothly now. Sarah does not speak. She understands that some moments need silence. She just stays close. After a while, Thomas looks up. His eyes are still wet, but something in his face has changed. The grief is still there, but it is softer now, like a wound that is beginning to heal. "She always wrote letters," he says again, "even as a child. I still have all of them." Sarah smiles gently. "Then she is still with you," she says. "Every word she wrote is still alive." Thomas nods slowly. He looks at seat 14 one last time. Then he looks out the window. The night sky is beginning to clear. Stars appear between the dark clouds. The train moves toward a distant, warm light. "What is your stop?" Thomas asks. "Millfield," Sarah says. "That's mine too," he says quietly. He puts the envelope carefully in his pocket. He closes his eyes. For the first time tonight, he looks peaceful. Sarah leans back in seat 14. She takes out her phone. She calls her mother. The phone rings twice. "Sarah?" her mother says, surprised. "It's late. Are you okay?" "I'm okay," Sarah says. "I just wanted to hear your voice. I'll explain tomorrow." Her mother laughs softly on the line. "Get some rest," she says. "I love you." "I love you too," Sarah says. She ends the call. She holds the phone against her chest. The train pulls into Millfield Station. The doors open with a gentle sound. Warm light falls down onto the platform. Thomas stands up slowly. He buttons his dark coat. He picks up his small bag. "Thank you," he says to Sarah. She does not ask what for. She already knows. They walk out onto the platform together. The air smells like rain and pine trees. It is cool and clean. Thomas puts the envelope to his lips, just for a moment. Then he places it safely away. "Good night," he says. "Good night, Thomas," Sarah answers. He walks slowly into the warm station light. Sarah watches him go. She breathes in the cool night air. She thinks about Clara and tickets and love. Some things are not finished by death. Some things go on. And sometimes a stranger on a train reminds you of that. Before you go, let's review the most important words from today's story. The first word is compartment. A compartment is a small enclosed section inside a train. In our story, Sarah slides open the door to the compartment and finds Thomas sitting inside. The second word is corridor. A corridor is a long, narrow passage inside a building or vehicle. In our story, the corridor smells like old wood and iron as Sarah walks through the train. The third word is flicker. To flicker means to shine with an unsteady, shaking light. In our story, the lights flicker once in the compartment before coming back on. The fourth word is tremble. To tremble means to shake slightly, usually because of fear or strong emotion. In our story, Thomas's hand trembles as he holds the mysterious envelope. The fifth word is grief. Grief is the deep sadness a person feels when someone they love has died. In our story, Thomas comes to the train every night, full of grief for his daughter Clara. The sixth word is wound. A wound can be a physical injury or a feeling of deep emotional pain. In our story, Sarah sees that Thomas's grief is like a wound that is beginning to heal. The seventh word is unused. Unused means something that has never been used, still waiting. In our story, Clara's train ticket is unused because she died before she could travel. The eighth word is envelope. An envelope is a flat paper container that holds a letter inside. In our story, a mysterious envelope appears on the seat beside Thomas while the lights are out. The ninth word is platform. A platform is the raised area beside the tracks in a train station where passengers wait. In our story, Sarah stands on the cold, windy platform as the last train of the night arrives. The 10th word is peaceful. Peaceful means calm and free from worry, pain, or fear. In our story, after Thomas reads Clara's letter, he finally closes his eyes and looks peaceful. Before you go, let's review the most important words from today's story. Now, let's look at some phrases that real people use every day. The first phrase is, I don't know why. This means you do something but cannot fully explain your reason for doing it. In the story, we hear, I come here every night. I sit in her seat. I don't know why. Use this phrase when you want to be honest about a feeling you cannot explain. The second phrase is, I just wanted to hear your voice. This means you called someone simply because you missed them and needed that connection. In the story, we hear, I just wanted to hear your voice. I'll explain tomorrow. I'll explain tomorrow. The third phrase is, some moments need silence. This means that sometimes the kindest response is to say nothing at all. In the story, we hear, Sarah understands that some moments need silence. She just stays close. Use this idea when words feel too small and your presence is enough. The fourth phrase is, maybe it will help. This is a gentle way to encourage someone to do something difficult but good for them. In the story, we hear, or maybe it will help, said softly by Sarah to Thomas. Use this to support a friend who is afraid to take a hard but necessary step. The fifth phrase is thank you with no explanation. Sometimes thank you carries much more meaning than simple politeness. It says, you changed something in me. In the story, we hear Thomas says, thank you, and Sarah does not ask what for. She already knows. When someone helps your heart, 2 words are sometimes more than enough. And that is the end of today's story, The Last Passenger. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it touched your heart a little. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and join us for our next one. A new story is waiting for you, with new words, new characters, and new feelings. We'll see you next time.